Now to breaking news on the war with Iran. There have been more strikes on Iran today, just hours before President Trump's deadline for Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And there's a blunt new warning from the president this morning. Nancy Cordes is at the White House. Nancy, good morning.
Nate, President Trump posted a truly apocalyptic message this morning designed apparently to force Iran to cut a deal. He said, quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will." He was asked multiple times yesterday whether bombing civilian infrastructure would be a war crime. He insisted the Iranian people want him to do it.
They want us to keep bombing.
As the clock ticks down to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, President Trump's threats are getting more specific.
Every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock. Every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Trump was asked repeatedly Monday whether such attacks on civilian infrastructure would constitute a war crime. He insisted the Iranian people get it.
They would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing.
The war was also on his mind at the annual White House Easter egg roll.
I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran.
Flanked by the Easter Bunny and the First Lady, Trump rejected a 45-day ceasefire proposed by other countries in the region.
The only one that's going to set a ceasefire is me. I haven't set any ceasefire.
Despite his tough talk, Trump said he believes the Iranians are negotiating in good faith, though he claimed the talks have been hampered by the destruction caused by U.S. missiles.
We're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication.
With gas prices surging and his poll numbers sagging, Trump acknowledged there is pressure on him to wrap up this war.
Unfortunately, the American people would like to see us come home. If it were up to me, I'd take the oil, I'd keep the oil, and would make plenty of money.
President Trump claimed yesterday that he could take out the entire country in one night if he wanted to. The president of Iran posted on X overnight, quote, "Over 14 million proud Iranians have up to this moment declared their readiness to sacrifice their lives in defense of Iran."
Wow, Iranians not mincing any words either. Nancy, we thank you. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us now. Listen, Major, the president is talking tough. If anything, he's doubling down. How seriously do you think we should take this ultimatum?
Very. The president was talking himself into it in the briefing room yesterday when he said the Iranians, the civilians in Iran, not the leadership, the civilians in Iran, for whom this war is putatively fought on behalf of, want the United States and Israel to keep bombing them more. That's the president talking himself into this, also saying that they could withstand the hardship that would be inflicted by destruction of most of the infrastructure of that country supporting 90 million people. That is the president in full public view talking himself into this. And there's plenty of reporting here at CBS and among other news outlets that the Israelis and the United States are expanding the array of targets presented to the president as options for this particular mission. So the markets are nervous. They are not trading aggressively down, but they are taking this threat seriously. That's not one or the only indicator, but it's one indicator of how the global economy is viewing all this, Gayle. And if there is one restraining mechanism on all this, it's not the polling data in the United States. The president acknowledged that in Nancy's piece, sure. But the economic catastrophe globally that might come from a set of strikes like this is the one restraining mechanism on the president. That's the one thing that he has always been hesitant to play with because he considers it actual economic fire for the globe and for the United States. So that is a backdrop here. But you've got to take the president's rhetoric and his intent rather seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very unsettling and, to be honest, quite frightening. But this deadline has been delayed before. What happens if President Trump delays again? And do you think that's likely?
I don't know if it's likely or not, Gayle, but again, you can look at the president's rhetoric and find ways in which he could do this. The president said regime change has already been accomplished and that these new leaders, we don't know who they are, he never says who they are more reasonable, smarter, and sharper, that he could create a deal. And if he creates a deal, even if it's just temporary, the world would relax. But until there's a full ceasefire and an end of all hostilities, no one will relax fully here in Washington or in any global capital.
All right, Major, thank you very much. To hear more of Major on all of this and all the big stories from Washington today, tune into The Takeout, airing weeknights at 5 o'clock on CBS News 24/7.